Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. My name is Fernando Herrera, and I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, my hometown. And today we're in GoMobile's Las Vegas franchisee's location. We're going to be doing a walkthrough of the GoMobile van. I'm here with Joe, pretty much the co-founder of GoMobile Corporate. And we're here with Yanni as well, who's a technician, the guy running the show. And I'm very excited. Thank you guys so much for your time, man.
Thank you for coming out. We appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, you guys are going to be hearing a lot of airplanes in this video, so just keep that in eye. The editor will try to do its best, but we're literally like 5 minutes away from the airport. Without further ado, let's go ahead and walk to the van and show us what you guys got.
Super.
Let's do it. Yeah.
All of the vans were set up to where they can carry about a dozen 16 tires without any problem. Our new trucks now not only do tires, but we do oil and battery service as well. And what we're selling as GoMobile is convenience. We are just a service provider.
I see. Now, you guys went with the Mercedes Sprinter. Is there any reason why you guys went with these models?
The majority of the vehicles that we've put together in the fleet have been Mercedes, a little more dependable, cost a little bit more, but less maintenance on the Mercedes vehicle than we found on the Ford and the ProMasters.
Really? Okay.
I think we've got maybe a half dozen Fords and 40 Mercedes.
Wow. So definitely got the hang of the Mercedes. Yeah. Now, obviously, this is I've done some videos myself of a mobile installation van, but you guys, part of being a franchisee, you guys set up the van. And pretty much GoMobile Corporate, goes to companies like Yanni or the franchisee owners. They invest. And can you tell us a little bit more of how this works?
Sure. We started in 2019 with one location out of Huntington Beach, California. We started out of a brick and mortar location. It was actually a collision shop that I kind of turned into a tire and wheel shop and collision. And we started the mobile from there. After about a year, we caught some traction in one of the magazines. Modern Tire Dealer picked us up, and we started getting some inquiries across the U.S. as far as if we could build vans for some other companies. We ended up franchising in 2021, and we're now in just about every major city across the U.S., and we're also in Canada as well. Currently, we're right at 50 locations that we have across the country.
Okay, and if you guys want, then guys, just go ahead and give me a little more of like the specs of the van. I see you have some storage, you have some jacks.
Yeah, so this is where all the oil system is. So we actually have a high technology suction for it. It's suction, so we put this through the dipstick, and it suctions all the oil out.
So you guys do oil changes?
Oil changes, yes. This is for oil changes. That's our waste oil, that big jug, and then also that's our brand new oil, which you can see waste oil. It's kind of messy right now, and then all of our drain, fill, and extract. This is how we fill it, extract it, and of course, if we do need to get under for any type of reason, we also have this one, which is the normal drain pan. And we have tire storage, a tire rack right here where I usually like to keep these here.
So for oil, jack. For example, you're saying that you guys suction off the oil, the old oil?
That's correct.
And then you don't use the pan pretty much, right?
For most of the time we don't, but there is some times where we do have to. But no, this oil system that we suction it out is great. I actually did it on my own vehicle, and I didn't believe it that it suctioned out everything, but actually I suctioned everything out, jacked up the car, and pulled the drain bolt off, and literally not a single drop came out. So I'm highly impressed with that.
And what about the oil filter?
The oil filter, we do have to change it out by hand. If it's either underneath or on top, we do just go in and switch it out really quick.
Okay.
pretty much the same system that Mercedes uses. They're extracting the oil as a vacuum.
That's correct.
And,
yeah.
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
It's very dependable, very quick, and clean.
Now you
Clean.
guys were
Definitely
telling me,
clean, extra clean.
you guys were telling me this van is running on diesel, or you told me something about solar panels, or how
Yeah,
does that,
so
all that work?
it's the engine on the van itself. It is a diesel engine. We do have solar panels, but the solar panels is for our equipment that's inside here that runs all the oil system, extract, and also a tire balancer and tire machine as well, and as well as our compressor.
Okay. Nice. And let's see the brains of this, man. I see it's actually very well. I mean, first thing I could see the color, the wall, everything has been well thought through. We have this very interesting machine that
Have to give credit to that to my partner Derek Naidu, who was a engineer at General Motors, and the whole process, what we try to do is bring out a clean tire store to someone's home or business. If you've been to very many of the tire stores, they don't take much care and pride in what they've got, and everything's kind of run down. We felt we needed to take it to another level, and that's part of the reason we went with Mercedes instead of some of the other ones. We wanted to where when you get a Christmas gift, how it's wrapped up means a whole lot in terms of the excitement that the customer is getting.
No, for sure.
All the equipment we use and have used from day one is Corgi. It's touchless tire changer. And we have the ability to where we work on vehicles daily that could be custom wheels, wire wheels, magnesium wheels. We do carbon fiber wheels. There isn't a application to where our guys should be afraid of with the equipment that we're supplied by Corgi.
What about this? Is this the inverter? This one?
That's our power tower, and it has the generator, it has the inverter there, it has the compressor there, it has the batteries down below. We have a filtration system to where it's dry air, unlike what you find in most tire stores. When you hit the air nozzle, you always see some water going through. Not a drop of that's going to happen. And that saves us to where when we mount a tire, you have no moisture going into it. At the same time, it's better for all of our equipment.
This looks quite intimidating, man. This actually looks like a
It
legit.
is, but what we found is if we have a problem, it's easy to take the tower out, remove whatever component, put it back in. We started doing that. I think this was one of the very first vans that we started with the new tower power. Tire size, largest diameter that we do, I believe, is a
26.
on a wheel, but on tire diameter, we can go up to a 37.
Oh, like on.
That I'm not too sure. I haven't done 37s yet, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I do. It is a pretty big diameter for sure.
What
that
type
we
of
can
compressor do you guys have here?
I don't know the brand name. This is the compressor right here.
Yeah.
And you can see
Oh, wow.
that little black. They're
But is there like, is this where the air is being
those.
held in?
Yes,
we
these
make,
are our tanks.
We make
Oh,
our
wow,
own
that's
tanks
pretty
up
cool.
on top, and we wanted to utilize space that
That's
didn't
genius,
take
man.
away from what we were doing.
That is actually very genius. So you got two tanks on the top. Very, very nice, well designed. And then is it enough, does it have enough juice for, well, I see you guys are using beat bazookas, but, and these are electric, I'm assuming then?
Yep.
The machines.
Yep.
So no air needed?
It's both. It's air and electric as well.
Wow,
So
okay.
this is run off of air. Also with our little arm is off air, and this is off air. But if we want to turn it, that's electric. You can hear the
Yep.
electricity part of it.
Yeah, not the big air pretty much.
Yeah, anything. The electricity pretty much is just to spin the tire and a little few other things, but it runs off both.
Now,
which is really
one of the
good.
biggest questions I get personally sometimes is the balancing machine. Do you guys have to recalibrate the machine, or how do you ensure you're getting a smooth balancing every time?
What we recommended to our guys is they calibrate the machines once a week. It takes only a minute or two to recalibrate it. we have found with the Corgi, unlike some of the other changers that we have seen and experienced with, they come out of calibration really easy with the movement. Not necessarily the case with the Corgi. As long as you've got it pretty much level, you do have to make sure that you're not rocking and doing two functions at the same time. If you've got somebody trying to change a tire and balance, you're going to set up for a problem. But if you're doing just a balance on it, you're good to go.
There's no
Yeah.
problems, no
No
complaints.
How often have you been calibrated? We tell them to check it once a week, but most of the guys,
I'm not gonna lie, we haven't calibrated it once, and
Still no problems.
nobody has ever called us back for any type of
Vibration
balancing,
or issues.
balancing issue.
Now,
So-
I know this might be a question of, I mean, maybe partnership, but why Corgi? I know there's Hunter, there's Coates. What made Corgi the
It's
preferred
the
machine?
very first machine that we put together was all Hunter equipment. We had a brick and mortar, and in the brick and mortar I had Hunter alignment equipment. I had everything that was Hunter. And at the time, the very first contract we got was with Tire Rack, and they wanted us to use the Hunter Road Force. So I set up the machine to be with the Hunter Road Force. And we found that the equipment very comparable, but it was the service that we got on the equipment. And Corgi was far superior to it. Cost-wise, it's both about the same. Most people don't realize, but a lot of the Hunter equipment is manufactured by Corgi.
Really? Okay. That's good to know, actually. Yeah. I've heard of Corgi. I mean, obviously, we've seen them in SEMA.
Yep.
But that's good to know. So, very interesting. I see you guys do most of the lug nuts and everything. You try to use electric drills, so try to prevent using air as much as possible.
Yeah.
And we are big on torque wrench, to where every job is torqued when you're all set, to make sure that you're not over tightening to where if somebody has a flat tire that they can't break loose a lug. All of those little things that sometimes people rush through and don't take the care and the concern that they need to. We try to emphasize with our team.
For sure.
Anything else, Yanni, you think it's unique about this van? I know there's tons of bells and whistles, man, but we've already seen the tower here, we've seen the air compressor, we've seen the equipment, the drills. I see you still got air hoses. Is this still for like just air pressure checks? Or?
Yeah, so air pressure checks, and also let's say if it's like a bigger tire with like a heavy load range, most of the tires, they go up to like 80 psi. This machine is just made for it to beat it on, and max goes up to 60 psi. So once we go up to 50, we switch it out and use this one, because this is straight directed to the tanks itself. And then tanks, right now it's a little low, but they hold up to 140 psi.
Now the max PSI then you guys can service technically would be about 90 PSI, you would say?
Yeah.
Okay, so anything above that, so no commercial tires or TVR, anything like that?
No, not
Okay.
in this van at least.
Not for sure, man. I understand. All right.
All of the vans, when they are shipped out or delivered, our guys have the capability of replacing TPMS sensors. They can do flat repairs. They've got valve stems. They've got virtually everything on the truck, to where on the way from where it's built in Portland, Oregon to the location, they could do a job for just about anybody on it. So they have all the jack equipment, everything you need in order to do any kind of work.
So this van was built in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
nice.
had two locations that we built. Portland, Oregon is the main one. We also built some vehicles out of our Jacksonville, Florida location.
Hold on. Okay. Nice. All right. Well, I mean, it's a very beautiful setup. I see you guys got a QR code here. Is this
Yep.
to set up appointments?
That's correct, yeah. It takes you directly to our website. And from there you can
And that's
make
kind of a
order
funny,
tires.
That's kind of a funny story too. Our best method of advertising are these billboards. These things are nothing but big billboards. And if you're doing an installation at somebody's home, the neighbors all tend to come out. They want to see it. I know a lot of these guys will build the vans and they don't do any markings on them. They want to kind of maintain a low profile on
Yep.
it, it defeats the purpose of the whole thing. You want people to know what you're doing.
To be curious.
And you know, we can spend tens of thousands of dollars in advertising, and the best. Somebody was driving down the road and they jotted down the phone number that's on the vans. On it. And every van has a phone number on it, or the QR code, or
Nice.
both.
And well, guys, I mean, also just want to let you know, I am going to be having a podcast here with Joe soon. So if by the time you've actually are seeing this video, the podcast is already released. So if you're wanting to see how more of the background story of how Joe started along with his co-founder, GoMobile, again, I definitely highly recommend you watch that video. We'll leave a link somewhere here. But yeah, without further ado, I mean, is this the only van that's in Vegas right now?
Yes,
GoMobile?
this is the only one. He covers a pretty big territory. He's got this truck, and he also has a commercial truck that we have as GoMobile.
Okay, so I didn't know actually that GoMobile had commercial
Separate
trucks.
truck that we have that we
Oh, wow,
utilize
look at
for
that. Okay.
commercial, to where heavier equipment, heavier jacks, impacts, everything.
Oh, for sure.
needs
So
to
it's
be
more
heavy.
of the TVR, kind of like the commercial type
that's correct.
tires that we
Yeah.
were talking about. Okay. All right. Well, is there anything you guys would want to say for anyone that's considering maybe starting a mobile van unit or a mobile van business, or someone who's interested in working possibly in one of these companies? Joe, I'll start with you first.
I think the opportunity is humongous right now. I think the American public has wrapped their head around convenience, you know, and it's to where I don't want to say we're late, we're just so busy that we're looking for the easiest way to get anything done. And if you look at how we shop for everything, tires included on the internet, the likelihood of somebody buying tires online and then having them taken to a brick and mortar to have them installed are not necessarily the best. You know, it's one to where some of the brick and mortar locations don't want to do it because they don't want to assume any liability. Some of the locations will want to charge a premium for that install because they didn't sell you the product. And I think if you look at it, the market's only going to get larger and larger. And you're starting to see some of the big boys, some of the big box stores looking at fleet in a way of retaining their customers. And I think that's what you're going to see in the next couple of years.
Nice. And Yanni?
Sure, I agree. As a tech, I really love it. I'm not stuck inside a shop and doing the same thing and looking at the same thing. I'm out on the field, driving, traveling. I've lived here my whole life in Las Vegas, and I've been to places that I've never been before. So it's amazing. I'm always doing something, so it's great. It's great.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it, Joe.
Thank you for the
Thank you.
opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Yanni, man. Take care.